Hello and welcome to DIA's Medical Communications e-learning program. The program includes 8 modules covering key medical communication or information principles. Each module contains relevant examples or scenarios designed to simulate medical information-related tasks, so learners can apply the concepts to their day-to-day job responsibilities. This program is designed for professionals involved in medical affairs, medical communications, medical information, medical writing, field-based medical affairs support, that is, medical science liaison, medical call center environment, regulatory affairs, clinical research, professional education, training and development, document management, and e-submissions. You'll learn the appropriate methods for managing medical inquiries in our Database Management and Medical Inquiries module. The goal of this module is to provide the medical affairs professional with an overview of the utility and application of database management systems in the medical communications or medical information department and elsewhere in the pharmaceutical industry. It will also assist the medical affairs professional in fielding questions, retrieving information, and delivering responses verbally. The module is organized around the major aspects of data management and responding to verbal requests for medical information. It includes the following lessons. Lesson 1, Using a database for information management. Lesson 2, Design of the system. Lesson 3, Receiving and responding to a request for medical information. Lesson 4, Types of responses. Lesson 5, Additional functions of the database. The program includes a module on literature searching. Let's take a look at this module now. This module is designed to help medical affairs professionals search for medical literature in order to satisfy requests for information from consumers, external healthcare professionals, and internal colleagues. The module is organized according to the main areas that should be considered when searching the literature to respond to a medical inquiry. It includes the following topics. Lesson 1, Identify, assess, and clarify inquiry or research topic. Lesson 2, Develop search strategy, including specific keywords. Lesson 3, Select data sources of interest and pertinent literature databases. Lesson 4, Perform search and evaluate results. Lesson 5, Refine results and conclude inquiry. You will continue your learning in our module on literature evaluation. This module is designed to help medical affairs professionals effectively evaluate medical and scientific literature, so they can identify and provide relevant and reliable information to healthcare professionals regarding the use of a particular drug. This module is organized around the following major facets of literature evaluation. Lesson 1, Abstract and Introduction. Lesson 2, Subjects and Setting. Lesson 3, Study Design and Controls. Lesson 4, Measuring Study Results. Lesson 5, Data Management Problems. Lesson 6, Describing the data. Lesson 7, Presenting the results. Lesson 8, Interpreting the results. Lesson 9, Establishing causality, and Lesson 10, Determining importance and generalizability of results. Learn the considerations and steps for writing medical responses in the Medical Response Excellence module. This module is designed to familiarize medical affairs professionals with the preparation of written responses to specific drug information questions. The module is organized according to the main areas that should be considered when writing medical responses. It includes the following lessons. Lesson 1, Regulatory Guidelines. Lesson 2, Writing Tips and Recommendations. Lesson 3, Anatomy of a Complete Written Response. Lesson 4, Quality Assurance, Editing and Review Process. Medical affairs requires regulatory compliance. Learn the considerations and U.S. regulations with the module on U.S. regulatory and compliance considerations. The goal of this module is to assist the medical affairs professional in understanding and adhering to regulatory and compliance matters in the pharmaceutical and biotechnology industries. The module will primarily focus on the United States Food and Drug Administration's, or FDA's, jurisdiction over the dissemination of information about drug products and the governing regulations, guidance documents, and compliance related to drug development and approval. Note that this module focuses on the United States FDA and its regulations. Other countries or regions have their own governing agencies, with regulations that may or may not reflect those discussed here. This module is organized around the following major facets of U.S. regulatory and compliance considerations. Lesson 1. FDA jurisdiction over prescription drug advertising and promotional labeling. Lesson 2. FDA regulatory standards for advertising and promotional labeling. Lesson 3. Requirements for advertising and promotional labeling. Lesson 4. Special types of advertising and promotional events. Lesson 5. Promotion versus scientific exchange and solicited versus unsolicited requests. Lesson 6. The on-label and off-label controversy. Lesson 7. Direct-to-consumer promotion. Lesson 8. Compliance and other law enforcement agencies. The time to learn how to manage a crisis is before it happens. Gain the skills for crisis management in our Crisis Management module. This module is designed to provide medical affairs professionals with an overview of crisis management. It provides a background on product recalls and associated regulations. An emphasis will be placed upon the actions needed to prepare for and successfully manage a crisis. The module is organized according to the main areas that should be considered when managing a crisis. It includes the following lessons. Lesson 1. Types of crisis situations. Lesson 2. Crisis impact. Lesson 3. Recalls. Lesson 4. Contingency planning. Lesson 5. Telecommunications and related concepts. Lesson 6. Actions in managing a crisis. Medical affairs professionals must be familiar with the various aspects and requirements for product labeling. Gain this essential knowledge in the Product Labeling module. This module will explain the need for and definition of labeling for prescription drugs and biologic products. It will discuss how labeling is developed and maintained throughout the product's marketed life. The goal of this module is to familiarize individuals with the components and structure of the prescription drug and biological product labeling, and pertinent regulatory and legal requirements with which they must comply. This module is organized around the following major facets of product labeling. Lesson 1. Global labeling, the company core data sheet. Lesson 2. Labeling in the U.S., prescribing information. Lesson 3. Labeling in the U.S., the medication guide. Lesson 4. Labeling in the European Union, the summary of product characteristics. Lesson 5. Labeling in non-U.S. and non-EU countries. Lesson 6. Maintenance of product labeling. In their role, medical affairs professionals must be able to discern and convey statistical information. Gain insight into statistics in our Statistics for Medical Affairs module. This module is designed to help medical affairs professionals and others in the pharmaceutical industry evaluate statistical data presented in medical literature. It will help users apply statistical concepts when evaluating literature, identify strengths and weaknesses in study design, and detect potential bias in the presentation of statistics. This e-learning module is organized into lessons that correspond with major concepts in clinical statistics. Each lesson contains topics that explain specific statistical notions and that focus the learner on things to watch out for when evaluating medical literature. The module includes the following lessons. Lesson 1. Statistical concepts. Lesson 2. Basic statistics. Lesson 3. Hypothesis testing. Lesson 4. Study designs. Thank you for your interest in the DIA e-learning program.